Well, hey guys, there's 5 people here already. Sorry, I've been fighting with internet, and I don't know how it's going to hold up. My neighbor and I have been talking. We may have to contact our internet providers and see if we can get different routers. His router and my router wind up on the same chain. Well, now there's 2 people here. Well, at any rate, okay, who cares how many people are here? Past 30 seconds, I'll drop an F-bomb. I'm typing something. Let me get this set up. Mr. Marshall, I have not even opened your box yet. As you guys can see, the OLite sale ends at midnight today. So here is my OLite affiliate link for you guys. 35% off on stuff. And if it's not alerting you, Dale West, if YouTube is not alerting you, I would advise you to unsubscribe, resubscribe, and hit the button, hit the bell icon and set it for all. It's about the only time that you're going to get notifications if you hit all. And I only put up one thing a day. So, I mean, sometimes I put up more than one video. I don't know why you guys aren't getting notifications if you want to know the truth. So Ethan's here. But guys, like I said, the OLite, it's bright. The OLite sale is going on up to 35% off on some actually really, really good flashlights. So I'd appreciate if you're going to get some stuff to use my affiliate links. Same thing today. I heard people talking about, I'm already on Amazon because they were talking about buying my sea snake design. I'm like, guys, if you're not using the affiliate links, it doesn't make sense for me to put them down there. So there's affiliate links in the description of my videos for a lot of stuff. SOG knives, and there's a VPN and stuff down there, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Guys, I wanted to address something. I've had a lot of people saying like sea snake, SEASNAKE, sea snake. It's a knife design that I came up with and I licensed it to Artisan. So you guys know that there was some drama. OCD for EDC put out a video. There was some talk about me in comment section, somebody else's videos. I'm not going to do drama. That's not what this channel's about. That's why if people complain and like, oh, Mike censors his comment section. No, I moderate my comment section because 2 reasons. One, my daughter watches my live feeds. And while I may curse and swear, I don't want a lot of the stuff that goes on in live feeds for my daughter to have to see it. And sometimes her friends watch my live feeds. So, you know, I don't want my daughter to see some of the stuff that happens. 2, I don't like drama and politics. And I'll tell you exactly why. I don't know if you guys know this. YouTube will take a channel down for things that get set in the comment section. So I try to keep that away. If you want drama, go find a channel that does drama or watch Days of Our Lives. If you want to argue with somebody, find them on Instagram and send them a DM. We don't fight here. The reason I don't let any politics, for one reason, YouTube doesn't like it. And 2, it only ends up in an argument. This is a knife channel, a fun channel. We might not talk about knives, but it's just for fun. So if that's not what you're here for, you're on the wrong channel. And if you're going to say stuff about it, don't be surprised if I put you in timeout, take down your comment, or block you entirely from the channel because I just don't want it. I lost, to go back to the reason why I started doing that, here a couple years ago, I put out a video about somebody that scammed one of my customers, and I got a hard strike. I got a hard privacy strike. I didn't put out the person's full name. I got a hard privacy strike. I was not allowed to live stream for a month, and I couldn't put up a video for 2 weeks. I don't want to do that. This is my channel. It's fun. I enjoy this. I don't want to risk it. So if you want a channel where there's drama, go find a channel where there's drama or watch Days of Our Lives. Like I said, you want to talk about politics, go watch Tim Pool and get in his comment section. It's not what this channel's about, but do have something I want to talk about. I took this knife to 12,000 grit today, just for gits and shiggles. And I'm not going to lie to you, let me go get a piece of newspaper and show you terrifying. I typically don't care if you guys curse. I think I have a bunch of stuff that is like keyword stuff that just can't even go up. And so it doesn't even go up, but it was about a scammer, and I basically called him out. Oh, it's been a few years ago. Scammed one of my customers, stole some money from some people, and he put in a privacy claim on my channel. And it was a hard strike because I obviously had done it. And so to eliminate that, we don't do drama on this channel. We don't do those things anymore. So it just doesn't happen on this channel anymore. I just don't allow it. So if you want to call it censorship, so be it. If you don't like it, then this isn't the channel for you. I hope everybody can stick around and things like that. Yeah, that was 3,000 grit, Nathan. So I did a video on Instagram where I whittled a hair with this on video. And I tried with a head hair. I went and got one of my wife's hairs because it was longer and darker. And I was like, wait, I got some gray hair in my beard. Let's see. So I pulled one of my silvery beard hairs and it showed up perfect on film. And this thing, I did it in slow-mo and it just popped that hair. And I'm getting notifications that my internet is. So let me go get a piece of newspaper so I can show this to you. It's not like I have to go real far. I'm right here. So at 3,000 grit, this was bad. It was nasty, not bad. I mean, it was nasty. It was nasty, nasty edge. This is at 12,000 grit and just touching it to the paper. Ready? Nasty. Is that DC 53 steel? So Maximet hates anything but diamond. If you're trying to do it on that Shapton, you're going to ruin that Shapton. You need a diamond. That's the only thing you're going to be able to sharpen that on. You're not going to get a good edge. The only thing that's going to sharpen that Maximet is diamond. I'm telling you right now, if you try it on a Shapton, it ain't happening. You are going to wear that expensive stone out. Just use some diamonds or send it here and I'll Aiden, for you, I'll do it. So yeah, I'm really digging this. The Migron knives seems to be pretty well done. I'm actually digging it. I'm digging it a lot. I don't think I would want to keep this at like 12,000 grit. I don't know how well that would hold up against would do some serious damage. You've left it open, tool bag, and then blindly reached in. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't want this if this knife came unleashed in pocket. This thing is great. So I'm going to do the full review of this video, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm really impressed, not just with the Migron knives, with this particular knife. It is an over 9-inch knife. It's got a relatively large blade, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel at all like it's that big. It feels much more nimble. It feels like a smaller EDC. And it just works well at this size. And I was expecting it to be, when I saw it, I'm like, wow, that's way larger than I thought. That's what she said. But it's not, it doesn't feel, like I said, it's just weird. It does not feel as large as it is. Guys, I filmed like 3 videos today. So we're going to have Saturday content, by the way. There will be Saturday content this week. I don't know if I'm going to do it every week, but I definitely have a video going up tomorrow. So you guys are going to get to see an ancient sharpening implement or sharpening tool. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, you big fat shit, you. Hi. Hi. Look who decided to hang out. Hi. You're a good boy. Yeah, you are. Dale says, I've done that with my carpet knife and it was real bad. Ooh, yeah, carpet knives, those curved carpet knife blades are rough. They will get you. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. You smell good. You got a bath, huh? Somebody gave you a bath. Let's see here. What's any... Went back last night and watched the live with Polly. That shit was hysterical. Polly is a blast. Polly and I are trying to figure out a way to like simulcast a live feed. I was hoping that he would try to do it tonight because I was trying to get a guest tonight and it just didn't work out. Aiden, I see it, appreciate it, but the cat hasn't come in and wanted to spend any time with me for a while. So I got a cat in I'm holding. So let me get this hide the current comment. He's gotten to where he just likes to kind of just lay and be held. He had been not wanting to be held for a while. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hi. Yeah. The gas leak has been taken care of. We definitely got the gas leak taken care of. Can I put you down? This has been fun, but can I put you down? Yeah, the gas leak was weird because we don't know how that fitting got cracked because it was inside the house. So what happened was I would be in the garage and every once in a while I'd catch like a whiff of gas. And I'm like, nah, I'm losing my mind. I'm just going nuts. And then I hadn't been out in the garage for a few hours and I walked over to where it comes in the backside right there at the dryer. And I was like, I know I smell gas. So what was happening is this gas was kind of like pooling up. The gas was pooling up behind the dryer. And when I'd get back in there, I'd move around, the air would move and you'd catch a whiff of it. Well, you are all asleep, huh? Are you sleepy? So, okay, Justin, here's the thing. Like I've lived here since July and no one has messed with those fittings. So I'm saying like no one's been back there and messed with it. And it just started all of a sudden. No, I didn't get in on everything. Hey, bud, you got to get down. I'm sorry. You can lay down here. There you go. Lay on that mat right there. I did not. I got to experience Benchmade bailout in 3V today. Shame on them. Well, it was Benchmade. You should have known better. Did I get in on the Chavez Street drop today? No, I already have an Ultramar Street. I don't need any more Chavez knives. What does DC53 compare to? DC53, from what I understand, from everything I understand about it, is like a harder, a little bit more stainless version of D2. I really don't know. I haven't looked at the metallurgy of it. And even if I did, I mean, comparatively, I've said it before. Some people are like, oh, well, that's basically this. And I'm like, yeah, but you can change one thing just a little bit in a steel and have it be completely different than what the other version is. Like say you add just even something that just seems like a nominal amount of chromium, like just almost doesn't seem like it would matter. And it changes it in a way that you weren't expecting it to. Powdering a steel can change the way it acts a lot. Like I like 154 CM, but I don't like CPM 154. It's just, you know, it just completely changes things. And different heat treats and things like that. So I don't know. I would look at the difference in what your heat treat is. And Rex 121 is enough different. That might be a difference. But like, I honestly don't think that that's got the horsepower. And I don't really think it's going to do what you want except ruin that shafting glass. Hey, John and Shane are both here. I got Sugar Shane and Javon. Hey, John, I don't know how, but it appears that I got unsubscribed from you on Instagram. So I resubscribed. I refollowed you on Instagram. And like I said, guys, the affiliate link for Olight is in the drop up here. They have a sale that ends tonight at midnight. So if you guys are looking for a good quality flashlight, I wanted to show you guys something now, because what do I think about S45VN? I like it. I've talked about it a bunch of times, Ethan. I have that knife that one of the paying members sent me as a gift, and it's an S45VN, and I love it. So crazy windstorm in San Diego. I don't know. I'm close to the ocean, so sometimes I get weird. Sometimes I get weird notifications. Let me look. Let me look at what my weather looks like. Let's see here. And, I have a high surf advisory. I don't see anything about a windstorm. Nope. Doesn't look like it. I don't think Polly's going to be here. Polly is with his daughter tonight. They were going to go to bull riding, I believe. They were going to go watch some rodeo, some bull riding. So, oh, the other thing I wanted to remind you guys, if you're not a paying member and you want to get in on the giveaway this month, I have that artisan cazador. So let's go ahead. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't know. There's side. I always get lost in this side conversations. I miss them. What do you think about adding wet grip test to your review of knives? I mean, I usually have water and stuff on my hands, and I just don't even think to add it. If there was an issue, okay, basically, Justin, I saw your comment. If it was slippery, I would say it in the review. Like, that's just not something I'm gonna talk. It's like sharpening. It's like, or not sharpening, but cardboard cutting test. I'm not going to go out of my way to test it, but a lot of times when I'm cleaning a knife and I have wet hands and I do a lot of tasks, like I'll try some kitchen tasks with a knife most of the times. A lot of times I won't mention anything about some of those tests unless it just did either really well or really poorly. If it performs like I would expect a pocket knife to perform, then I typically don't even mention it. But if it's slippery, then I'll definitely say, yeah, it's a little slippery when it gets wet. I have mentioned that a couple times about knives, that they were slick in hand, especially if like you got sweaty hands, or if I'm sharpening, I'm like, those handles are slippery. The handles on the, oh crap, guys. All right, well, let me get my bell. I don't even have my bell. That's the second one. Thanks for the stream and all the great info. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Let me go get my bell. Watch out, kitty cat. You get stepped on. I'm behind the green screen. What's up, bud? I need to get. No. You paid for it. But that's loud. It's too bad Polly's not here. You know how he hates it. And then everybody, I like having Polly on because Polly's like, oh, not the bell. And then the next thing you know, everybody's donating to get Polly to complain about the bell. No bell needed. Shabazz Vaseline test. Actually, Vaseline is kind of thick and viscous, and Vaseline is not as slippery as you would think. It would be a better test. We might do it. We'll do the CrazySharp Astroglide test and see. Oh, what I was going to say was that the Astroglide test. That's funny. The Bark River that I have is slippery when it's wet, but the way it's contoured, it just holds in your hands really well. I've had some knives that were slick. I've had some knives that were slick even when your hands were dry. They just felt like, wow, that feels slippery. My rat one is a lot slicker than I remember them being. I don't even know where my rat one is, to tell you the truth. Now, what do you want? You wanted to come out here? Talking to the dog. Wow, the dogs are just going nuts. I disagree, because most of my Chinese knives are better than most of my American-made knives. So, and we're not going to argue about that. That's one of the things we don't talk about. Knives are knives, like knives. But I disagree, because I have my knives made. My knife design is made by artisan. So that's one of those things that just like, what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to eliminate 3/4 of the knives on the market today out of your hand? Yeah. So quality is quality. I don't, to tell you the truth, I look at every knife at face value, and I'm not going to argue this, but like, I'm just telling you, that's one of those things. Like, that's some of that drama that, like, oh, don't buy China, don't buy only buy American. Well, I like knives. To tell you the truth, I'd love to bring it back to the USA, but the fact is, that's not where they're being made right now. And I make knives. I've made knives here. custom knives. So, you know, just people buy knives. If you like knives, you like knives. I honestly can tell you, I reviewing knives. All right, I told you twice. I told you when we started this. There's that. I don't want to argue about this. It's not the thing I want in the comments because this starts fights and starts arguments. That's what I'm talking about. We're just going to enjoy knives. I'm not here to argue about knives. So at any rate, double edge, bring it back to the US. I'd love to, but the fact is American manufacturing makes things prohibitively expensive. It is a huge paradigm shift because the fact is companies that make knives in the United States think they're not okay. I said this when I talked with, what's his name? Bobby DeMarco on the Knife Nuts podcast. These companies and people there aren't willing to make a sacrifice to bring it back. They want the $40 an hour job. They want to be that $40 an hour machinist and not take the sacrifice it takes to bring the manufacturing back. And the fact is, it's never going to happen unless these companies are willing to take that. And everybody's like, oh, well, you want me to take a pay cut? I took a pay cut. I took a huge pay cut. I was not happy with doing what I was doing. I decided I wanted to do something different and do something I enjoy. So there we go. I quit a 6-figure-a-year job to do something I love. And that's why I moderate this channel. I love having this channel. I love knives. I love sharpening knives. That's why I run a sharpening service. I'll sharpen anything you send me. I am adamantly opposed to clones and knockoffs. I don't want clones and knockoffs. I don't want them here. If you own one and you send it to me, am I going to not sharpen it? No, I'm still going to sharpen it. Am I going to fucking judge you a little? Yeah, because you have a clone. But I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of people send me clones, didn't know they were clones, didn't know they were knockoffs. So I have these people like, well, I buy these, I buy the knockoffs, I buy the clones because they're cheaper. I'm like, well, then I personally think you're a piece of crap. Now, if you bought one and you got, that's not your fault. People do that. And people are like, well, people that buy these know what they're doing. I was like, that's great. People buy these knives and then put them on the secondary market. Oh, hey, I didn't even see that double edge. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let me pull my cam girl thing. And Dale West, the only reason I put you in timeout for 5 minutes is because I can't take down comments. I don't have that ability. Like I said, I took a huge pay cut because I didn't like what I was doing and I wanted to do something different. So I made a sacrifice. People don't always want to sacrifice. People don't always want to sacrifice, and there's the problem because if you can get the same quality, I'm going to tell you right now, this knife beats a lot of American-made knives that I haven't looked up the price of this yet because I'm still in the feeling out phase. So, you know, I'm still in the feeling out phase of this knife, so I don't look up specs and things like that. Well, I want you to keep in mind, I don't own most of the knives you see. I don't own most of these knives. They come in for review. And if I'm reviewing a knife, that's what this channel's for. We would have no content. If I only reviewed American-made knives, we'd have 0 content. You'd get like 1 video a month. So did I have my knife made overseas? Yeah, because guess what? Every American company wanted to charge me an exorbitant amount for prototyping, even though I was not trying to give them, I didn't want them to OEM my knife. I was trying to license the design. I only wanted a portion of the proceeds. So I couldn't find it because they're like, oh, that's great. Yeah, we'll license your design, but you still owe us like fuck $3,000 for prototyping and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it then. Like, if you're going to charge me an upfront for me to give you a design, then I'm not doing it. What is this? One thing I learned working in a mold shop is China is using our equipment, but cheaply made. It's exactly the same as American, just a little more sweaty. Yeah, I mean, my personal collection has a lot of American-made knives in it. Lots. Microtags and Chris Reeves and a bunch of other American-made knives. But the fact is, if I only did American-made knives on this channel, you'd get like 1 video a month. I can't do that. What is this? I took a huge knock to stop doing work I hated. It took over 15 years to claw back income I gave up. Yeah. I mean, this is what I do full time now, pretty much, is the channel. And I'm trying to get to where it sustains. It's not great. We're dipping into our savings again, but technically right now, I'm not allowed to go back to work doing the things I was doing. And the things that I am allowed to do are just things I will not do it. So the other problem is, and I know I don't like to talk about politics, but one side of the fence has basically made it cool for companies to outsource all their stuff. And then you have companies like Microtech. I'm telling you right now, Tony Marfione, I've talked to the man. I love the dude. He's a great dude. Talked to him a bunch of times, talked to him. I know him personally. I'm telling you right now that SOCOM Bravo, I guarantee he did not want to have to do that. But the fact is, he can't keep up with the demand of that knife. And therefore, he outsourced it. That one. The Microtechs I have here are American made. I have in my case, in my personal collection case here, almost, it's probably 50-50. American made high-end knives, Olamic, Microtech, Benchmade, Chris Reeves, Ferrum Forge. You know, what else have I got in there? At any rate, but between those knives, the majority of my main collection is, the majority of my main collection is like the high-end stuff in there. It's American made. But like I said, it generates content. I get knives in, they pass around. Jared sends me stuff. You know, like I said, I love this knife. Do I wish this was an American knife? Yes, I wish this was an American made knife, but this is a Chinese company. The owner of the company designed it. He put it, he's like basically one dude. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about like the politics of it, but yeah, I agree. I have a knife that I've been trying to get done by an American company. I have a design that I'm holding to get done American made, and it may happen. I'm working on it. But like the fact is, right now, I don't have that option available. And, you know, if you're sitting on a design that can make money and you need to make that money, that's not a hill I'm willing to die on. You know what I'm saying? As a person that needs to provide a house, you know, a roof over my daughter's head and money for her to be able to eat. Is that a hill I'm willing to die on? Absolutely not. It shouldn't need too much reshaping or resharpening. Okay. You'll help me you represent a machine shop? What machine shop? I mean, well, you could send me a DM. That's fine. But the problem is machine shops that are willing to, here's the problem. I'm not going to be able to do the sales. Like I can't sell 300, 400 knives out of my garage, and I don't have the upfront capital to do an OEM run. Therefore, a licensed design. So yeah, there's companies out there that could do it well. Do they have the clout to be able to sell it? Like, am I going to license this design to the company and then make $15 because, well, we sold 12, so your portion is like 48 cents. You see what I'm saying? So there's machine shops out there that are willing to, I'm talking like, oh, we're willing to do it. And I'm like, great. So how often do you sell? Who do you sell to? Where are you at on this? You know, what's your marketing presence? How are you going to get these out? I'm like, oh, you know, we got Instagram. I'm like, no, I don't want a company that's like, oh, we'll sell it on Instagram. Well, I'm not trying to sell like 10, 15 units. I want to sell thousands and thousands of units. So holy shit. I got to ring the bell for that one, boys. That's a holy shit one right there. So, and like I said, guys, I don't put my political thoughts out here. I have a channel where I've done political videos. If you guys want to know what I really think, because don't forget, I got to live within those guidelines that YouTube sets out. So like people have been complaining about like, oh, Mike, Mike censors his comments and stuff like that. No, I keep my comments in the green so that I don't have to worry about the fact, like I said, a couple of years ago, where I had a month where I couldn't do, I think I had a month where I couldn't do a live feed and 2 weeks that I couldn't even post a video because I got a hard guideline strike. You get 3 of those and you're done. I think they've got to be more than like, they got to be within 90 days of each other. But yeah, I mean, I got to play within the rules. John's not going to make anybody else's knife. John, I love John, but he barely makes his knives. You know how hard it is to get his knives. Like you can't, they're not mass produced. He's not going to do a collaboration. No, that's what I was saying. I don't want to get into this topic because then it starts fights, it starts arguments. I appreciate the donation and I appreciate you guys' take on it. But this isn't like, let me point you in the right direction. When it gets to a point where when it starts to get nasty, see, that's what I'm saying. See, that's what I don't want. And that's when I will pause it and I will stop it because you guys start in the comments and that's where the channel gets taken down because I'm responsible for the content of the comments. And therefore that's why I block and demonetize, I block and take people down. So to you, but what I'm saying is YouTube does not like when there starts to be arguments. I'm trying to keep the arguments down is what I'm saying, because then this turns into a political argument. So, you know what I'm saying? Dale, please don't argue with me about it. I'm just telling you, like, that's why. Let's talk about steel. Yeah, talk about steel. So what I was saying was that's what we started with this. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You guys can think what you want, but I'm the one that gets the notifications from YouTube about things that happened. And then I get a warning and things like that. So no one's arguing. I got you. But it turns that way real quick and real easy. So this is that DC53 steel. This is what I started to talk about. So this is a lot like D2 machine steel. And I like it a lot because it's taken like a wicked, nasty, nasty edge. So I haven't looked up the metallurgy. I do know that Jared was telling me that this sharpens really easily. And it's another one of those steels. You know what it reminds me of? 14C. What was this? No, you haven't. You know why? Because I take it down. It has happened and people can talk about it. It happens. Like you'll see Havoc and Polly will play at it, but it's all in good fun. Same thing happens with some other people. But at any rate, Ant said something. I think this might be controversial, but I think M390 is used too much. I don't think it is. I like it a lot. There's cheaper steels out there that are good, but I don't think they're any good. DC53. DC53 steel is a new Kurt Cromco. How you been, Kurt? I haven't seen you in for a while. I don't understand what you're saying, Duke. I think it's good. It is good used poorly too often. Oh, you're talking about M390 steel. So what I was saying about M390 is a very, very good steel for a lot of stuff. And it just depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, it's not always great. Like the edge that it takes is really, really good. And then this is absolutely got to be blocked because this is a porn link block user. That's one of those bots that pops up. So at any rate, too many M390 bad heat treating. I haven't really come across a bad heat treat on M390. And Aiden, I really don't know who makes the hardest. I know that when we use 20 CV, which is when I would do 20 CV, I would take 20 CV, which is basically an analog for M390. The powdered metallurgy is not quite as good, but the actual steel itself and its composition is really similar to the point where there's very little difference. 204P, M390 and 20 CV, they're all super, super similar. to the point where you really can't tell it was. I like the edge that M390 takes better than 20 CV, but I've taken it to 64 Rockwell, and it's great at that hardness. It takes an edge and holds it forever. But this is one where I disagree. I don't like XHP. I don't like the edge. I don't like the way the edge on XHP feels. And it has a lot to do with heat treat. I will say that. I had some knives in XHP, and I just did not like the edge it took. It never felt the way I wanted. It never seemed to cut the way I wanted, no matter what angle, no matter what I tried to play with. It never seemed to really do what I wanted. And then I got some XHP that was done by, of all, cold steel. And like I said, if you want to know how a steel is going to get done well at a heat treat, a good heat treat, get cold steel to do it, or anything that Bose does, Bose heat treat, or anything that cold steel does. Came out great. The cold steel, yeah, Fembot. Yeah, that's exactly right. Double edge. The edge that it took on some of the knives that I had seen before, the Spyderco and some of the other knives I had in it, I didn't like it. When I got the cold steel XHP, it was great. And I've had a couple other knives that were done really well. So, I mean, I can't say I always hate XHP, but the majority of production XHP, I'm not such a big fan of it. Excuse me. Where we at here? When I start knife making, honest, mostly stock removal, for thinking of using 14C. Good luck finding it. I was trying to find some, and I couldn't find any. I was going to make a knife out of it. I was going to make a custom sea snake for myself because I don't own one. Couldn't help but pick up a few. Blade HQ. I saw a question down here that Double Edge said, but I want to get to these. What about YouTube video on intro knives showcasing the popular steels? I don't know. I don't know if that's something I would even have the ability to do with what I get. Like I said, the stuff that you guys see, I'm pretty much on the welfare line of the knife world right now. Like, I get what Jared sends me and what some other people send me. I actually got this from Lefty EDC. Talk about American made. This EMP Nimble. This is cool. I really like this. This is, I believe, I haven't looked yet, but I'm pretty sure EMP Knives is an American company. This, I did first day in pockets of this fun little deal. It's 3 different ways. You have a front flipper, back flipper, and a flipper aperture. Really, really cool. Double Edge said, I'm a little behind on the comments. I'm trying to look at all of them. I might have a bunch of Spydercos and boxes I've collected over years. What is best to maintain an oil? You know what I've been using? I just put a couple drops, Double Edge. I put a couple drops of the KPL because I've got like 2 or 3 bottles of it because Ryan has sent me like every time he makes a new type or changes, he sends me the full kit. So I've got like, I think I gave a couple bottles away at one point actually. But I'll just put a couple drops of KPL on it and wipe it on because it does stay really well and it does not evaporate and it prevents corrosion really, really well. So EDD, I've held out for years, but couldn't resist the Jade drop point. Ethan from Marketing, Ease Use Performance, I'd say Magna Cutter 14C. 14C is hard to find. ZDP 189 is great unless the heat treat is botched like Mike's Spyderco. My Spyderco is fucked. I honestly tried to resharpen it here the other day and I cut 1 box and I was like, I almost threw it away. Like I was so mad at how bad it performed. Spyderco seems to really, I disagree because the one that I had that was all screwy and did not like the heat treat, hated the knife because it just didn't take an edge I wanted. And it was just like, it would rip instead of, it would get sharp, but then it was just so toothy. No matter what you did, it just ripped. It was like, it was all jacked up. And so of course I gave it to my brother-in-law because that's what we do. With their I find XHP much easier to put a good edge on compared to M390. I will tell you what I will take over any of it. I will take freaking S90V over any of it. S90V is my favorite performance steel. Like if I was going to look for a high-end steel, S90V. I love 20CV. I love M390. But as far as like my high, if I needed a super steel, it's going to be S90V. S110V is not too bad. S125V, never, ever. Well, I mean, you only have to sharpen it once. I made a couple knives in S125V and they never got dull. QSP, okay, well, like then it's a lot like, then basically it's like Artisan. So Artisan is an American company. My knives are made by Artisan. Artisan is an American company and they OEM in China. So I don't know. Okay, so guys, like I said, first day in pockets, like for the first week or so, I don't look anything up about the knife. I don't know the price. I don't know the steel. I don't know any of those things because I don't want it to sway my opinion of the knife. I want to take the knife at face value. And that's why you see me do an unboxing, a look at it, pick what knives are going to go first in the rotation. That's why you're seeing these pretty quick. I also have that Two Sons TS 223 that is first. I do a first day in pockets blind. I just put it in my pocket. I carry it. I don't look up any specs. I don't look up anything. I don't look at anything about the company. I don't look about anything of the steel price, none of that. Then I carry it for a while. Then when I get ready to do the full review, after like a week, I'll look it up and like, because then I'm like in my head, well, what the price point? What's this feel like the price point should be? And then I'll do the full review once I've carried it and I've based my opinions. Because out of box, you can be impressed by the way something looks. Like this looks amazing. This is awesome looking. It is attractive. It's cool. It's unique. But you're blinded. I call it the honeymoon period. So that first like unboxing, then once I put it in a pocket, that's that like, ooh, that's the honeymoon phase. Like, what's this and how's that? This thing looks awesome. And then you start to notice the things about the knife. So after about a week or two of carrying it and using it, like at least like a couple hours of the day, like how's it carry in pocket, and I'll find tasks to do with it. Then I will do the actual review. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Still a great knife. KPL versus CLP. I don't like CLP for storage. And I'll tell you why. I don't like CLP on my firearms either. On my pew-pews, no CLP. Nope. I don't use CLP. I either use VVL 800, which is the Teflon-free, Teflon-free version of CLP, or I use nano oil, which is an armament oil. It's meant for pew-pews. And the reason is, if you put CLP on something and you store it away, it has volatile oils in it that are not as stable, evaporates off, and all you're left with is the Teflon. And then you got this greasy, sticky stuff on there that you have to really fight with to get off. It gums up your knives. It gums up your firearms. I don't like CLP at all. I never liked it when we were in Navy. I would intentionally not order CLP because the alternative for maintenance was VVL 800. I liked it better. So let's see here. QSP. Hinder collector C. What was this? So Brant's here. Did somebody talk about a hinderer? Because I don't know who would have. No, it's Brant, not Jant. I've never had S110 VB chippy. I've had S30 VB chippy, especially if it's done by Spyderco. Every Spyderco I've ever had an S30V chipped, microchipped right at the edge. S90V, no. S110V, I've really never had an issue with. No, I did not summon Brant. Mike actually loves S125V. I do not. Okay. It's a very interesting material. It is a very, very interesting material. It is never one of those knives that you're going to say is easy to sharpen. Even with all the stuff I have here. Last time I made one, and last time I made a knife in S1 or S125V, when I took it out of heat treat and got done, before I ground it, I took the blank and you could score glass with it. So I want you to think about how hard that was to make a knife out of and grind it. It wasn't brittle at all. I have some issues with it because a lot of times, like I wear triple XL gloves. I have very, very large hands. I have some issues with the nimble in hand. I just cut myself with it. That's what I was saying. Like it was not meant for hands like this. I would say if you're looking at getting a hinderer, check them out. See if you can find one at a show because you may be disappointed with the pocket clip. Unless you get a flipperless, which was my knife of 2021. Oh, you mean the way I do my, yeah, I wanted to be non-biased because sometimes sometimes in a box, I will get a $30 knife and a $400 knife. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. We were talking about China. Where's it at? This is $1,000 North American made knife. I'm not going to say US made because it's not. And then I have got some knives in my case that are at the $40 and $50 price point that perform every bit as well as my Norseman. Now, do they have the bells and whistles? No. Do they have the warranty to back it up? No. I mean, John has already given me brand new replacement bearings for this, an oversized stop pin because I had some blade play to get rid of the blade play, and he trusts me to sharpen knives. Like if you buy one, there's a good chance if you ask about sharpening, I'm the person he's going to refer you to. So it wants its nails done once a week. Use Pam on all your pew-pews? Oh, Ant. I don't know. I have some pretty high-end. I have some pretty high-end hand pew-pews. I don't think I would want to do that. Some hinders, and I like some of the Holts, but I also, you know, I'm friends with the guys at Civivi, and there's Civivi and we and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you something about these companies. The people that work at these knife companies in China, they're not what you're expecting. They're not like the people you see doing the stuff at Foxconn that are jumping off of roofs. Those people are passionate about what they do. They love everybody that works at We loves what they do. Everybody that I've talked to that works at Reat with David Deng loves what they do. They do it because they're passionate. They went out of their way to find that job. So Dave Deng was a knife enthusiast before he ever started his company. So just to put that in perspective, like you can say those things that you want. Yes, it's a Chinese company. Do I agree with the politics of China? Absolutely not. Can I say it here? No, YouTube hates that. They actually demonetize channels for that. But the fact is that if you look at the people that are actually doing it, they took those jobs because they wanted to. They love what they do. Everyone I've dealt with at We, they stay there. Like they could go somewhere else and do something else. They love what they're doing. The EDX, mine is on the coffee table behind the green screen. And I had to put it somewhere. I had to put it somewhere where I wasn't going to be where I would grab. I had to take it out of my pocket because I already did the full review. Here's how it works too. The reason that sometimes you'll see a first impressions and it'll be a long time to see before you see the final review. It's not because I didn't get a chance to use it and things like that. Most times it's because I get something in my pocket and I really, really, really like it. And so therefore I will keep carrying it like, oh, well, I haven't done this with it yet. I haven't carried it here. I didn't do this. And a lot of times that's the way it was with the Hinder. I had to do the full review just to get it out of my pocket or I would have not gotten anything else. Let's see here. LC 200. I don't like the LC 200N as much as I like Nitro V. Osprey is awesome. What is this? What is made for Kinders? I don't know what that is. What is this? That looked cool. What looked cool? I don't know what looked cool. Oh, the Osprey. But do they look like a horse dong? I say they look like an angry pelican. There's his eye. He's flying in. But you can say what you want about that blade shape. Probably the most used knife in my collection because it does so many things so well. And it's nimble. It doesn't feel, it's a big knife. It doesn't feel as big as it is. And in fact, you have that big recurve, but then you have this blade up front where you can do some like small stuff that you can't do on the inside. I like this knife a lot. It's probably my favorite knife I've ever purchased. This one is mine. I purchased this with my own money. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'll get a clone because I can't afford that knife. I was like, it took me 5 years to get this knife. I saved for 5 years to get this knife. Let's see here. Put the skiff bearing. I'll tell you a company that I want I'm going I'm going to get them on the live feed. Hogue, you want to talk about American made knives? Hogue. I love Hogue knives. I just haven't had a chance to get them on the channel. I want to get actually get the owners, the son, the one of the grandsons or sons that I had on when I did the interview with him at Blade Show West. I want to get them on the channel. That's some cat-like reflexes. Just caught that knife I dropped. I put skiff bearings in my Osprey. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. What the fuck is up with these skiff bearings? Because I had somebody send me a knife with skiff bearings, and I owned a previous model of it that was, I didn't see a goddamn difference. I really didn't. I'm like, I'm not seeing a difference. Now, I'll tell you, there have been some knives that I did see a definite difference in bearings from generation to generation. And I think a lot of that had to do with how the pockets were milled and things like that. What's the deal with the skiff bearings? I'm gonna scroll down through some of these comments so I can get caught up here. So let's see here. Confused Mike is so funny. Actually, Pam, I did like Riyadh. I think yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's a big thin. Let's see here. Cool design, horse dong, obviously a selling point. And here we go. Okay, but I'm going to tell you, I've had a knife, two things. I mean, I saw, and I can't remember which one it was. I had one that the guy sent me, and he's like, "Oh, I've got another one coming. I'll send it to you. I'm going to put the skiff bearings in it." And so I still had it because it was in for sharpening, and they both came in. I cleaned them both up because I thought, maybe there'll be a difference. Let me give them a fair shot. I saw zero difference, none. And I'm like, I don't know how much those skiff bearings cost, but I just don't understand. Like, maybe I would have to see one where there's a marked difference. But the thing is, both the knives, and I can't, God, what fucking knife was it? Both knives were extremely smooth to begin with, to the point I couldn't tell a difference. I could not. And I had them side by side. Like, I had them, I'm like, corporate wants you to find the differences between these pictures. I'm like, they're the same picture. That's all I could think of with that meme. He was like, isn't this so much better? I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I'm like, yeah, great, good call. Cool story, bro. So no, I'm gonna have to go online and look and see what it is that people are talking about them. Ooh, hey, my watch is charged. Not all knives have a noticeable difference with skiffs. I'll tell you something that irritates me is people are like, oh, I want to take this knife on bearings and I want to put it on washers. And I'm like, you like wiping before you poop? Because that makes no damn sense. Knives on bearings are always going to be, and they're like, oh, hey, skiff bearings is $12. Oh, okay, well, I mean, maybe it'd be worth it. Maybe I'll see. Maybe I'll take one of my knives that I just am not 100% happy with the, oh, I got to do this thing. Hang on a second. I got to click this thing here. So I guess, like I said, the one that gets me is, like I said, oh, I got this extremely nice knife that runs on really good bearings, but I want to run it on washers. And I'm like, you're an idiot sometimes. You're an idiot sometimes. I mean, that's dumb. I grew up in the country, and that's like wiping before you poop. It don't make no goddamn sense. I'm still trying to get this done. I'm horrible at doing two things at once. My wife will tell you that. Yeah, I mean, going to wash. So people will tell me, oh, washers are better. Washers don't get as much stuff down in them. And I'm like, yeah, but they're like, oh, you can't, like, bearing knives get dirty and then you're screwed. I'm like, yeah, but I could take a bearing knife and run it under the sink where because I can look down in there and I can see the actual gaps in the bearing, especially on like something like the DOC. It's noticeable. You can see the individual bearings. I just run that under the sink, get the grit out, put a drop of oil from the top. I don't have to take that knife apart ever. I have taken some Microtex apart. There's a lot of knives that run on bearings. You don't ever once have to take that knife apart unless you just want to. Well, I mean, yeah, that's great if you're talking about like getting a knife on washers, but washers are not better than bearings. There's a reason that we use bearings instead of bushings on machines now, unless it's just a machine, unless it's just something that you just cannot use a bearing. A lot of times bushings have to be used because bushings are a wearing surface as well. But like I said, like using bearings is going forwards. Going back to washers is moving backwards. I don't know about you guys. It's like nostalgia. You're like, oh, I remember things were so great. And then you think back. I want you to think, like, you think back on your childhood with you reminisce on your childhood and think about how good it was. But what you're forgetting is the bullshit. I grew up poor as shit in Southeast Ohio. My childhood was not something that I need to think back on nostalgically. I'd be like, thank fucking God I survived. Guys, I'm going to do a video about something that's not a knife. The 80s were great. Maybe for you. I grew up dirt poor in Southeast Ohio. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, I quit drinking. There has been, here we go. Joshua Wilson said something. They have extra bearings per cage. Okay, that's something I argue about. You ready? This is science. And I'm going to tell you this is absolutely science. Less bearings, more better. More bearings, less better. You know why? Now, I will say there's some knives that have multi-row bearing systems that are great, but they're using tiny bearings. More bearings makes more points of friction. More points of friction equals, class, more fucking friction. See what I'm saying? Staggered, small bearings, less of them, more better. More bearings, not more better. More bearings, less better. Less bearings, more better. Is that better? Makes sense. So, I mean, granted, some bearings are way smoother than others. I'm not gonna lie, some ceramic bearings are way smoother. I'm glad they started putting, a lot of people have started putting ceramic bearings in a metal cage. I kind of wish this had metal caged bearings. My knives that have the plastic caged bearings, my Reat, this one, my Reat, where is that thing? Why is it not in my case? Oh, I had it out because I was going to do a revisiting video. So my Reat Horizon D, this knife has got a multi-row ceramic bearing system, and they're set in a Delrinner plastic setting. The W601 has plastic set bearings. This one has plastic set bearings. Those are the only knives I have. These knives have to be cleaned. Those bearings have to be cleaned more often than any of my other knives. And I think it's because of the way they're caged in the plastic. Is the action on them great? Yeah, this thing, still, hands down, no joke, no bullshit, the best production knife I have ever owned and purchased. Still, the best. I even went and I re-anodized everything, and I cut a little choil in it. Hands down, the best production knife I've ever owned. I love this knife. The other Reats, not as much. Justin High, that is correct. That is correct, you are. But yeah, but you're still having more points of contact. So at any rate, what I was saying is these knives with the plastic bearing races get gummy and dirty quicker. I will say that I've never had a problem with any of these in the middle of, like, before I have to take it apart, because like I said, knives that I carry a lot, like this thing is always dirty down inside because I always carry it. It's always in my pocket. I'll answer that question in a second. These ones get dirty, and I think it's because of the way they're caged in. There's not as much space. They run through that plastic and then it all balls up and it gets nasty because there's not as much clearance as they're in like a folded over caged bearing. There's more room in what, you know what I'm talking about? Like those metal cage bearings are like, it's a U-shaped thing that they're sitting in. So all that dirt can kind of slough off in the middle. You know what I'm saying? In between the bearings. With a plastic one, you don't have that. And it just builds up. And the next thing you know, you got dirt on your bearings. It feels gritty. That's what I'm thinking. So, and this knife is the Riot Horizon D titanium and carbon fiber. I bought this when it first came out. This was the first, no, I'm sorry. This was the second. This was the second production knife that showed me that production knives could be better than my customs that I've carried. I only see the ones that I see. I only put up the ones that I see, Patina. So the other knife, so this knife was the first like high-end production knife that I got. No, I'm sorry. I keep saying that. It's the second one. The first one was Crkt DOC. I'd had a Sebenza and I knew how good they were, but this knife, and I refinished it, did a ceramic coating, and I turned it into the Sith knife. This knife and this knife combined, even though I already owned a Sebenza, Sebenza is like a work knife. It's kind of plain and stuff like that. They were the knives that showed me that, like, holy crap, there are production knives out there with, you know, custom knife quality. This is a knife I probably would not part with. Hey, Zach's here. This is a knife I wouldn't part with. Hey, Zach, what's going on? This is a knife I would not part with. I love this knife. It's relatively low serial number. This was a 2015. Ridiculously sharp LMAX. I've customized it myself, things like that. Was this solid PB cages, better ceramic balls, no open stamp cage. You get that gunk in or have bird or crimp. I'll have to see them. Are they set in the plastic? I don't know. Oh, I'm like, what is running? Why is there water running? I was like, did a fucking water line? I set a timer. 8:30, I can start running the dishwasher and not have to pay the extra fee for the electricity here in San Diego. So one day I'll have one. What? Crkt DOC? I don't know. I asked Jason McCoy before he left the company, and he was like, yeah, we've thought about bringing it back. I asked Tony in an email and never got a response because a lot of people, I even have my Darth Vader bead. I don't like lanyards, and this has a lanyard. I will tell you that this carries incredibly well in a waistband. So it's coated. Guys, I don't care if you dislike the videos. Like I said a bunch of times, I don't care if you dislike my Jack Nemo dislikes my videos just because he doesn't like me, because I blocked him from the channel because he was being belligerent and remember we were talking about the whole thing being disrespectful, and he was being disrespectful to me and other people on the channel. So I blocked him and he got all pissy about it. And now he dislikes every one of my videos. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need that on my channel. And if there's people here that get upset because I took down one of their comments, well then, you know what? Bye. I don't care. Like, I'll take down a comment. That doesn't mean I want you off my channel. If I block you because I've told you several times not to make those comments, like, no one did anything. There was just the one that was going to turn into an argument. So, Havoc's here. Havoc, I need you to email me. We're going to pick I got a hair hanging down. It's in my field of vision. Like, if you continue to do stuff, then I'll block you, because that's just, I consider it, like, put it this way. So, what was his West? I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot his name. But yeah, like Double Edge, and then West. I can't think of his name now. Like, if I ask you not to put up a comment and you continue to do it, I'll ask you again. But I look at it like, okay, I'm inviting you into my garage. You're in my house. If you go to your friend's house and they tell you not, like, man, hey, knock that off. Are you going to keep doing it? They're going to ask you to leave. Same thing. Ben Marshall. Dale West. Yeah, Dale, I wasn't upset. I just didn't want that comment there because it was going to lead to a discussion and go down a route I didn't want. What was this? So lots of paperwork today and packing. Nice. Oh, I didn't turn, that's what's wrong. I'm like, why is my fucking computer hot? Hang on a second. I forgot to turn the heat pad on. My computer overheats because the internal fan, while the microphone's on, won't turn on. I have it sitting on a fan. So if you guys hear something, it's because I'm getting a warning that my computer is getting hot. Yeah, I got it, Dale West. Jokes on him. YouTube treats dislikes the same. Oh, that's what I say. I like to say, I used to say it, double edge. I don't know if you've been here. I can't remember if you've been on my live feeds. I like to say it. If you don't like my videos, that's fine. If you go in and you're giving me a downvote, that's fine. If you say you hate me and you watch everything you still watch everything I do, bitch, you're a fan. And I will take that interaction because YouTube uses that to push it up the algorithm. Yeah, Polly's not here, Havoc. Jason McCoy and the missus still in the knife biz. I think they're more in the pew-pew stuff now. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to them. So I don't know. I really don't know. To tell you the truth, I haven't reached out because I know they moved to Florida. I know they're busy, but I like his wife, Kaylin, pretty much responds anytime I reach out. I only dislike gray pube hair. That was a beard hair. That was a beard hair. It was from this part of the beard over here. Can you see? I got a handful of them. I can't see. I actually, so if you guys find that on Instagram, that reel where I'm splitting that hair, I went and got a gray beard hair. I tried using one of my wife's hairs. My wife's Japanese, so she has really thick, dark hair. So it was showing up on camera. I went and got one of my daughter's hair. She couldn't even see it. Like it wouldn't even focus on it. And I tried on my wife's hair and it worked, but the problem was you couldn't see it. So I'm like, well, I'll try a beard hair. So I tried a regular beard hair. I pulled it out. I was like, oh, ouch. And it wouldn't focus on it. But I'll let you in on a secret. I ain't got no ball hair. I mean, surprise, surprise, I ain't no ball hair. I can get rid of that shit. I don't like zipping ball hair in a zipper. It's uncomfortable. So I went and I got one of my regular beard hairs and you still couldn't see it. When I was like, let me see, I got a silver one. I need to get rid of, I want that out of there anyway. So I pulled one of the silver ones, which for some reason hurt way worse. And I was like, okay, it's going to focus. So I did it in slow motion. Shaved it with his Norseman. No, I didn't shave it with a Norseman. I don't shave it. I just used the same clippers I used to give myself a haircut. Just like while I'm at it. There we go. All done. All done. That's going to be itchy. Yes. Yes, Ben, they do. It's red. So, God, I wouldn't want to try that with a Norseman. I mean, actually, it's got you might be onto something. The Norseman has got a curved blade. I mean, it may follow the contours a little better. You might be onto something, but I don't want to split I don't want to split my grape sack open with my Norseman. I don't know why pulling gray nose hair might wind up being the horseless headman. I mean, the headless horseman. Where's Ant? Where's Ant? Okay, so this thing jumped again. Ant put in something and I don't know. Okay, what was Ant talking about? Because I don't see that comment. I get what you're saying about kinematics per se. However, practically, you're aware of the surface area coefficient of an object. Oh, you guys are still talking about. I just know more bearings, more points, more friction. More friction, less good. Less sometimes is more. They don't look like gray hairs. I had a gray, I was like, I could feel it. I was scratching my nose. I was like, what the fuck is that? There's something hard in my nose. And so I got to look and I was like, well, is that a hair? there was a hair in my nose it was a gray one, and it was so thick. And when I pulled it out, I was like, my God, it felt like speaker wire. Why no more drinking? A couple reasons. It's fucking expensive. I don't know if you guys have looked at the prices of things now. And so there's a lot of shit I've cut out. I don't drink. I haven't been to the dispensary. I'm like, I can't afford to have fun right now. So, oh no. I pulled a translucent. I don't even want to look at this. So Ben put up something. Says, met a guy in boot camp that split his grape sack. He's down 1 now. I gave it a 2 out of 10. I do not recommend. Damn near poured out his. Well, I trim my nose hairs because I don't like when they get long, because then you sneeze and you look like a party favor. So it was in there, and it was short, and I was like, man, that thing is really, really. That's it. I thought maybe I'd gotten something stuck in my nose, and when I pulled it out, I realized that it was definitely a hair. Guys, I wanted to. If you guys are looking for a laser sight for your pew-pew, I took this to the range the other day to sight it in. This is a actual green. Let me see if I can get it. This is actually a green laser. You guys aren't gonna be able to see it because I have the green screen set up. But this has actually got a green laser, and this one has a double setting light on it for your rail. These are 35% off right now, and not just because I'm an affiliate. I'm telling you, even if you guys didn't want to use my affiliate, I would say even if you didn't use my affiliate, absolutely get one of these, because this is one of the few laser sights and flashlight combos that really is good. And this is an Olight. And like I said, I have an affiliate down below. The sale ends at midnight tonight. But it's one of the few ones that after firing, like, I think I fired like 100 rounds. I think I fired 100 rounds through my pew-pew just to make sure it was where I wanted it, like 10, 15 yards, just, home distance. So I'm just going to not use the sight. I mean, at that range, I really don't need to use the sight anyway after as much shooting as I've done, as I did in my military career. It's kind of instinctive, but it is nice to have a reference point. But like I was saying, it didn't lose its dope. It didn't rattle around. So it did not waver at all. It stayed true all the way through. So basically, once I got it where I wanted it, where I was putting that little green dot, that's pretty much where the hole wound up in the target. And I was like, okay. Did you know that a lit candle smells just like burnt hair? Go smell it. Go give it a sniff. It's not true. No matter how force distributed, fixture will be equal for the force, the coefficient. And there you go. Yeah. So like I said, Ant, are you saying that I'm right? More bearings, less good. Less bearings, more good. Green laser on a green screen is purple, violet. No, I mean, it's a lot like this. Like when it doesn't know how to respond to it. It can't figure it out. Sorry. What are you, 6? Sorry. I just know I prefer bearings over washers. Get whatever you want, guys. Like, I'm not saying you have to agree with me. I'm just saying, like, I've noticed that the smaller bearings, the smaller steel bearings the Ferrum Forge boys used to use were there was a lot less friction in those. Well, I'm going to put you in. Don't you believe it? My channel, my rules. I'm right. No, I don't care. I might be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, I tell you the truth, I really don't care. What is this? And you are assuming the coefficient is the same between the bearings with different umber of balls. I don't know what an umber of balls is. Is that a special holder? You got a special holder for them? I have an umber. I have an Umber for my balls. What? It's an Umber. So, okay, I have to say you guys this, all right? So my brother, my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, I prefer burnt motor oil. So get this up here. Double-edged because you gave me a big one. You get another one. The dog's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? The dog was asleep and I started banging on that. So my sister-in-law, or I'm sorry, my sister and my brother-in-law, they give each other weird gifts. Just like, I mean, I don't actually give my wife and I don't give each other gifts. I haven't gotten a Christmas or birthday gift for a long time. I got myself that basically my birthday present to myself was that Reat XO gravity knife. At any rate, my sister bought because they like that movie. They like the TV show Firefly. So if you guys remember, the character Jane had a hat. He had quite a cunning hat, and that was his cunning. So my sister bought my brother-in-law cunning hat, and it's like the knit thing with the tassels, and then it's got the strings down. So my sister loves classic Doctor Who, Tom Baker, the guy with the scarf. So he bought her a Doctor Who scarf exactly like the one, like it's labeled as Doctor Who. That's what they got each other for Christmas. I didn't get anything for Christmas. You know why? Because my wife is in Japan. I didn't get anything for Christmas, and I didn't get them anything for Christmas. That's a lie. I got myself a hangover for Christmas. That's right. What was this? The only friction I worry about is on my dick. There are many things to affect coefficient of fixture number balls is not one of them. But there's more points of friction. So more points of friction, more friction. Right? That makes sense. That's just math. Now you can try and tell me math is wrong. I don't get it. And that's also taking a clean environment, introducing a gunk dud. I'm done talking about bearings. You guys nuked it out. Like, you took all the fun out of it. You took all the fun out of it. That's what you do. You just take things and suck the fun out of it. No, you don't. That's why I do this. And like I said, that's why I'm really strict about how we run the live feeds and what the comments say, because I don't want to not be able to do this. I'm not going to lie to you. That was like the worst month, because at that time I was doing a lot of live feeds, and you guys were in them. We were doing them in the mornings, and then I had that fucking strike, and I couldn't do anything for a month. So I think it was like 2 weeks I couldn't upload in a month, and I just don't want to go through that again. I love doing this. I love hanging out with you guys. Hey, look, there's another fucking bullshit goddamn block that user. I don't see how that could work, because if there's well, maybe. Justin, disclaimer, I am drunk. Cool. I don't get it. It make no goddamn sense. I ain't got no gas in it. So at any rate, like I said, so whoever, I don't know how I got off of it, but like I was saying, this is the Balder. So whoever was, I think it was double edge. This is the Balder S. BALDRS, and it's magnetically chargeable. You don't have to take this off. You don't have to take this off of your pew pew to charge it. There's a cord. You just plug it in, and it's a magnet, and it charges it. And I probably should charge this because I've been playing with it a lot. I had it off, and I'm not gonna lie. It's funny. The cat is scared of a red dot laser or the green dot. He won't chase that laser. He gets scared and he runs and hides next to the dog. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I've lost interest in that. Oh, that's what I was going to show you guys. So I had someone, does stuff get stuck in the charger? No, because this is the charger on the, the charger cord, a little bit. Occasionally it will. This is not magnetic. It's just the plate for it. It's metal, but it's not magnetic. So it doesn't, it's not like it sticks to stuff. So the cord will catch stuff every once in a while, but I haven't had a bunch of stuff stick to it. And it's pretty easy to prevent it, because what I did was I put a piece of tape over the face of it when I'm not using it. And that way I can peel it off. So if something does stick to it. So this is what I wanted to do here. Hang on a second. I forgot about this. So we're going to look here at something, and I wanted to pull this up. Hang on. You guys can still see me. Traditional Tonto blade. We're going to look at this. So I wanted to talk about, like, because American Tontos and Japanese Tontos, there's a there's a big difference. Where's this at? So we're going to share this. So I know, so everybody's like, oh, Tontos have to have that point. Tontos have to have this. And my only problem is when you're in a shop and lots of metal. I don't typically take, like, if I'm going to the shop or if I'm working on knives and I have my little, my Olight flashlight with a magnetic back on it, I'll put a piece of tape over it just so I can peel it back off after. So this is something I wanted to talk about. This is something that irritates, because people will see, like, I reached a point where people will, look at a knife and be like, oh, well, that's not a Tonto. It doesn't have that distinct. That's just a thing. This is a traditional style Tonto. And all it is, it's two separate angles of grind. There's a thick spot there. And what it is it reinforces the tip. And that's your point where your impact is. There's truly not a line there. What they've done there is they've accented it with differential polish. So we've reached a point where people have gotten so used to the Americanized Tonto that when they see a true Tonto, they're like, oh, that's not a Tonto. That's just this. I'm like, no, it is. One of the swords that I had, well, not one, all the swords that I have, the old one, the 400-year-old one, and the three that I had made for cutting when I was taking Japanese martial arts, they all have this style tip. And there's a little thick spot there. You can feel where the angle changes. So what it is, it's still there, but the edge is still round. What it gives you is a strong point, because when you're cutting with that sword, the majority of that impact is in that area. And what it does is it cuts through armor a little better. It cuts through all kinds of stuff. And it gives you a really strong area of the edge that's going to take a lot of the impact. And as it transitions down to the tip, because the other thing it does is it's really similar with that 601, that W601 that I have. I'll grab it. We'll stop sharing that, and then I'll show you this. This is really similar, if you want to know the truth, to a Japanese style Tonto. So there is no distal taper. That's the thing with Tontos. There is no distal taper. The taper comes on the edge side, and it comes up and it thins at the edge and comes up. And what that gives you is that super strong spine for impact and things like that. And it still is super, super thin for piercing. So this is actually, if you want to know the truth, this W601 is very, very similar to a traditional Tonto. So as you can see, there is no distal taper, but it does thin up to a very acute point. Like, this is something that will pierce right into something, but it's not going to break. So, like, so many people are like, oh, that's not a Tonto. The Tonto has two angles like that. And I was like, that's absolutely not true. The Americanized Tonto, yes. So CRKT Minimalist Katana. I don't know. We'll look it up. Hang on just a second. What did we say it was? What are we looking at? CRKT. Where's my keyboard? I have a wireless keyboard. It makes this easier. CRKT Minimalist Tonto. Let's see here. Images. No, absolutely not. That is not. That is an Americanized Tonto, and that's a recurve Tonto. So I'm not even going to pull that up because I'm not even going to look at it because it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's disgusting, and I don't like it. So also makes it more phallic. Bonus. Yeah, I was just talking to him. I'm trying to, he's probably going to come on the channel before too long. We were talking about that the other day. I was actually trying to get him on Wednesday, and I was trying to get him on Wednesday. I was trying to get Birdshot on today, but every time we've tried to get around to doing it, something comes up where like I will wait too late. So next week on Friday, Pete from Cedric and Ada is going to be on. So that's going to be a lot of fun because I want you to think about his sense of humor and my sense of humor. So it's definitely going to be an interesting evening. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm talking about what I want to talk about. Well, I mean, see, when I do that, then we wind up talking, but then shit comes up that like, oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that. And I should just not say it, but live. Yeah, live. Like Cedric and me and Pete. Because at 7:30 p.m. my time is 2 p.m. 7:30 Friday night for me is 2 p.m. on Saturday for him. So it's gonna be gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a blast. Pete is an absolute Chad. You guys, okay, I don't want to get too far into it and I don't want to fill this up, but just out of curiosity, like don't go too far into it. Have you guys seen all the shit that's going on with Jack Murphy? The self-proclaimed Giga Chad, like all the shit that's going on in his life. That dude is a complete and utter fucking beta. You would see guys like that in the military, guys that were like the complete and utter beta masquerading to be an alpha. And it is funny to see when it all collapses on them. Because you got, I'm not gonna lie, I had to tone back my alpha. Being in a civilian world, it does not play real well. People don't like that alpha personality as much as you would expect. And so it's yeah, I followed according to it. It's pretty funny. So like when you see someone that has built themselves up as an alpha and then you see it just collapse off from under them, it's hilarious. And Ben, I'm sure Ben can tell you that like I guarantee he's seeing that in his classes and things like that, where these guys that have set themselves out as the alphas and stuff like that. And you see them, you see the legs get knocked out of their chair that they're sitting in, figuratively. They just chops the legs out from under them, and you can see it that they can't handle it. So Tina was saying, like, somebody was like, oh, I don't think Mike's really that tough. He's like, dude, you should see some of the shit I've seen him do and just smile and walk away from it and just like tape his hand shut and go right back to what the fuck he was doing. Now you guys got to see it. Like I fucking stabbed myself in the hand. That was fun. That was interesting. Never had a through and through. Stabbed myself a bunch of times, but never had a through and through. So it's just funny when it's funny to see it happen. And for those of you asking why I haven't addressed a lot of the drama that's going on that I've been named in, I don't care. If you want to know the truth, I really don't care to get involved in it because it doesn't bothered me, and I got pissed about some stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I have a friend that I did martial arts for years with, and he sent me a post, and it was like, he said, do not let he sent me a post from the Dalai Lama, and it says, do not let the behaviors of others interrupt your inner peace. And I'm like, that's a very, very valid point. So it doesn't matter. I don't care. I've never really wanted to be into drama. I did a couple things that caused drama. I responded to some drama, and it's like, I like to say it's like Sisyphus and his boulder. If you're going to engage in it, you're always going to be engaging in it. So I just always like to I'm just going to leave it be. Are there things that get said about me that I don't like? Yeah. Am I going to respond to them? Probably not. You know why? Because that negative attention is what people want. And that's what they're thriving for. And that's what they're asking for. And if anything, it pisses them off if I don't give it to them. So I just ignore it. So it's exactly drama. If you want drama, this ain't the channel. You want drama? Go watch Days of Our Lives, because I'm just not even going to participate in it. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And that comes with age. That comes with getting shot at. That comes with fucking spending a lot of time in the military dealing with shit that like most people aren't ever going to see in their lives, and dealing with people that most people aren't ever going to have to deal with. There's some bad motherfuckers in the Navy and the military in general, and you got to deal with them, and you got to figure out how you're going to deal with them. And like somebody in here said, there you go. Just like Ant said, there's always going to be somebody tougher, worse live life. You know, okay. I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened to me. I was with a bunch of my friends. We were in Korea. I was on an amphibious ship, so I always had Marines around. I used to fight with Marines all the time and tussle with the Marines and shit like that, mess with the Marines, and we would fight back and forth. And I didn't even think about the fact we were doing a joint special forces operation with the South Koreans, and we had a lot of SEALs on board. And we were in a bar in Busan or Pohang, Korea. I can't remember which, one of those two cities. And me thinking I was Billy Badass, because I'm not gonna lie, I fucking kind of was. Dude, I had proved it a bunch of times. I had just not gotten myself. Yes, this is the SEAL story, but there's a lot of new people that haven't heard it, dude. And so I was in a bar, and they serve these little things called Oscars, and they're little champagnes. And I have a cork, a little plastic cork. I was popping the cork off, and I was shooting them up, bouncing them off the ceiling. I was putting them in the middle of this table. And my buddy was like, bro, those dudes look like you're getting pissed. I was like, fuck them. They're just jarheads. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? We're going to get mad. We'll go outside. We'll fight. We'll come back in. It's just what's going to happen. It's what happens every time we go out drinking. We get in a bar fight with a bunch of Marines. It's just fun. And I'm fucking cranking this thing out. I pop one up, and it bounces off, and it hits this dude. And he gets up, he walks over, and he sits. He's like, having fun? And I was like, yeah, actually I am. And he was like, don't fucking do it again. He set the cork right in front of me. And I reached over, and I grabbed my buddy's bottle he hadn't opened yet. And before the dude could even make it back to his table, I bounced that fucking thing right off the back of his head. And that dude turned around, and his buddies got up, and he grabbed me, and he spun me onto the ground, and he took my left knee and put it in my right ear, and then got me in this fucking death choke, and I was dying. And he whispered in my ear, I could have killed you 2 seconds ago. And then he held a little bit longer, and that's when I realized that air is a lot like pussy. It's not a big deal till you ain't getting none. They were SEALs. And so I was like, way to go, guys. You didn't even come to my fucking, like, this guy was going to kill me. Like, I was seriously thought I was going to die. Like, I've never been housed that quickly. And like I said, I've taken martial arts for years. I've been in fights. I did it as a hobby. We used to bar fight as a hobby. Never in my life had I been fucked up that bad, that quick. And knowing that he didn't even try. Like, he wasn't even trying to do it. He was just like, whatever. And I got up, I'm like, what the fuck ever, guys? He goes, his buddies got up and put their hands on it. I was like, if you don't want any of this, like, if you want any of this, go ahead and try and help him. And I'm like, they were like, we didn't want any of it. So we stayed right there, just watched. So I was like, that was my first, like, no joke, took martial arts. I'd got, and granted, martial arts, I should have matured enough to know fighting doesn't prove anything, but it was fun. We did it for fun. A lot of times you go out and you get in a fight with some Marines. At the end of the night, you're all drinking together. It was a blast. You don't need to keep doing that double edge. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Pretty sure you just paid my headliner with that last one you put in. But it wasn't like we were fighting to prove anything. We were fighting because it was a camaraderie thing. We actually would get in a fight, and by the end of the night, you're hanging out, you're having fun. There was nothing fun about that. And that's when I was like, you know, I had never really gotten challenged. I'm 6'3". I think I was like 190 when I was that back then. I was one of the baddest motherfuckers around. Really, not joking, not trying to be a Billy Badass, but that's when I realized that I was like, God, Jesus Christ, there are some people out there that are just fucking dangerous. As much as I like to think I was, and probably am, it wasn't anything. It was completely out of my control. There was nothing I could do, absolutely nothing. And it was to be that powerless, to have something like that and be that powerless. It's terrifying. And that made a big change. Oh, hell. I made a big change that day in thinking. That was so like somebody always, oh, you're always going to run into somebody that's tougher than you. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I did. And that was the day. And I completely reevaluated my life that day. And now I'm 47. I still take martial arts. I took martial arts for years after that. I don't necessarily go, but I still practice and things like that. But I've moved into that adulthood. Like the biggest one was I sent this to my daughter. I sent her a thing. It says, what you don't realize when you're a kid is you're also watching your parents grow up. And having a child is one of the biggest things that changed my life and made me, now I'm an adult. Like I'm a grown-up now. I'd like to say, you can always be an adult. That's a definition of age. Don't become a grown-up because that's when they take your soul. I'm still not 100% a grown-up because like I say, the difference between a grown-up and an adult is if you wake up in the morning and it's raining and you don't want to go outside and play in puddles, hang it up. Now you're a grown-up. I definitely still want to go outside and play in puddles. But it's just, I've grown beyond needing the things. Like I don't need to get in fights. I don't need to get into a fight to prove I can fight. I know I can fight. I don't have to do it. I don't have to call out people. I don't have to cause drama. I don't have to live my life tethered to those things. I've found my inner peace. I don't need anybody making waves in my little pond. But the fact is, if somebody is pissing you off, they're not doing it. You are. You're letting them. You have allowed them that power. And if you can recognize that and realize that and grow beyond that and be like, you know what? Fucking say whatever you want. I don't care. Remember when we were kids and like your parents were like, words are only words. And then you were like, yeah, whatever, but you're not the one that has to deal with it. Now I understand where that comes from, because now I have a 14-year-old kid and I look at her, I'm like, look, it doesn't matter what they said. It doesn't matter. It's just words. Doesn't matter. Fucking ignore it. So I'm like, which takes us back to like fucking having a child made me more, it hasn't made me more mature. It has matured me. Definitely have mellowed. It took the edges off and shit. I will say that the only thing that I'd be willing to get into a street fight for right now would be my child. I'm going to tell you right now, don't get in between me and my kid. Don't think you're going to come at my kid. Don't think you're going to be able to do anything. Don't think you're going to be somebody that's going to try to hurt my kid, because I'm going to hurt you real bad, real quick, real fast. So it's not worth it. Just walk away. They're just words. I don't even want to get mad. I saw the videos. I saw the comments. Did I get mad? Yes. Have I responded? No, because there's no need. There's no need. Tooth and nail when it's family. Yep, absolutely. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. If I knew Japanese like you, I'd start talking Japanese. I was just talking with my father-in-law. My father-in-law wants to come out. You guys may get to see some videos again of the in-laws coming out. We're probably going to try and come out. So when they come out, there will be some time off from the channel. Don't expect to have content when they come out. Don't expect to have a lot of content when they come out because I'm going to have to film while they're here. Because we're going to go to the Grand Canyon and do a couple things. Like they came out last time and we went to Las Vegas. And my father-in-law was completely underwhelmed with Las Vegas. Like that old man has the same view of Las Vegas like me. Like it's just too much. It's over the top. It's too much. I don't like all the flashing lights. And by the end of the day, I'm mad. I just want people to it's too crowded. And I just can't handle that many people when it starts getting crowded. And by the end, I'm just getting upset. I'm getting mad. I just want people out of my way. I'm about ready to hit someone. So my father-in-law, we came out, he gambled a little bit and he goes, oh, he won. He's like, okay, well, this isn't fun. Because he's used to like pachinko and things like that, where it is fun and it's entertaining. For him, it was not entertaining. And so when he got done, he fucking walked around. And he was like, well, he grabbed me. He's like, let's go get a beer. And I'm like, we can go down and get a beer. I said, we'll go down to the lobby and get a beer if you want. We went to the bar and he looked at how much beer. We bought one beer each and he was like, so, ikura? And I was like, $2,000. It's like $20. And he was like, 2つのビールは2,000. It's like 2 beers are $10, like $20. I'm like, so you. 1000, $10, $10. 2つは2,000. He's like, もういいよ. He's like, we're not doing that again. We finished our beers and I was like, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, ビールは飲みたい。でも高い. He's like, I want to drink beer, but it's expensive. He was like, convenient? He's like, is there a convenience store? I was like, yeah, there's one right across the street. My father-in-law paid to go to Vegas for 2 days, 2 nights. And on the first night, lost his taste for it. And he and I drank in an expensive ass hotel room he had paid for in Las Vegas and drank beer and watched TV. Now, I did take my daughter to ride the roller coaster the next day and stuff like that. Kim, I imagine it this time of year. Yeah, this is what time of year the wife and I went for our honeymoon when I came back from Iraq. So we went and got some beer and then we left. My daughter and I went and rode the roller coaster down at New York, and we came back. And we all went and watched the fountains at Bellagio. That stuff I loved. I enjoyed that. The Bellagio fountains, we watched it and stuff like that. And then we went back to the hotel that night. Papa and I drank and watched TV and goofed off. And I think I did a live feed from Las Vegas from the hotel. And then I'm glad you're back, Kim. Did you get your knives, Kim? Kim sent me a lot of really expensive knives to sharpen. And so, we left that next morning and went out through Ely and everything. And we were going to go to Antelope Pass out in Zion, but Zion Park was so crowded. It was like an 2-hour wait just to get into Zion because there was road construction. So we turned around and just drove out to Flagstaff where we had reservations at a hotel, stayed in Flagstaff for the night and went to the Grand Canyon for the day. And they loved that. And I'd never seen the Grand Canyon. It was amazing. I'd never gotten to see that. And so that was great that we all got to experience. My wife got to see it for the first time. My mother-in-law, my daughter, myself. And there's something like, if you've never seen the Grand Canyon, like I was like, well, I've seen pictures. I don't care if you've seen pictures. There's something that happens inside you when you see that. You're like, oh my God. And I thought to myself, that's the feeling that the first people that were coming across the country experienced. And it's one of those things like they're trying to cross the country and they hit that. You're like, can you imagine you're riding up on a horse and you see that? You're like, now what the fuck do we do? You're like, it's literally, I'm like, well, shit. It's like, apparently God does not want us to go over there. But yeah, it was amazing to get to see that. My father-in-law loved it. They want to come back and I want to go back to Flagstaff and see the Grand Canyon. So, oh, is B still live? Tell him I said hi. I might stop by when I'm done. I'm not such a big, like my wife's like, oh, we can go to Zion and we go hiking. And I was like, that I've had 2 knee surgeries, right? Like, what makes you think I want to go hiking? I don't want to go hiking. So But no, what I was saying about Vegas, the wife and I went to Vegas and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed Vegas when we went, but I was a lot younger. That was 2006 when we went, because we never really got to have a honeymoon. So we went to 2000 till, for 2006, to Vegas, and we had a blast, but it was me and the wife. We didn't have a kid yet. And then we, later doubled edge. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the super chat. So we didn't have a kid then, but we definitely, if you were to walk it back, we didn't bring back many souvenirs. We've got one that's 14 years old now. So yeah, I like to joke that my daughter was the best souvenir we ever brought back from Las Vegas. We'd had a couple. She'd been pregnant a couple times. We lost a couple, but so he ain't. Oh, I thought Double Edge was leaving. I'm sorry. Ant was heading over. So guys, I am definitely trying to fix the echo. I've been playing around with it. I figured that I figured it out today. I think I have to have the camera closer to me. And then the problem that I'm having, and somebody pointed it out to me, my back wall, there's a big ass TV with a really flat, shiny surface that's reflecting the sound back at me. So I'm going to try something tomorrow. I'm going to bring the camera closer to me so there's not as much distance between me and the camera, so I'm not getting that double. And I'm going to hang towels over the TV. Somebody told me to hang towels over the TV. They said it should take care of it. And they said wet the green screen. That might help, or hang towels behind it. So we're going to see. What? Parted. Yeah, you can't use the R. You can do that. Yeah, Sinister, sometimes you're all tatered up. So what's going on? What are we going to talk about now? Get some sound isolation foam. Problem is, if I do that, I have to take down everything I have hung up on the wall. I don't want to do that because it's not just the studio. You know what I'm saying? The workbench and stuff is there. And I can't film going this way. The lights behind me aren't good enough. Putting up sound isolation foam, I don't really want to do that. I'll figure it out between the steps that I think I've taken care of, or that I've done. I think we should be good. I'll just hang some stuff up around and kind of box myself in. And I think the big deal is that back wall behind me, or in front of me, I should say, has got that big 60-inch TV on it, and it's a big glass flat surface, and sound reflects off of it really well. So I'm not too concerned about it. The last couple haven't been too bad. So there's other stuff I can do. What is this? There are some folders with them like mini cubicles. Yeah, I'm not trying. Okay. Let me rephrase this. Everything I'm going to do is going to be free. You see where I'm going with this? Because that's my favorite price right now. Free 99. I don't have any water left. 600, 800 grit for S45 VN, having a set small. I mean, it's up to you. You could try it. I think my Bark River I took to 1,000, and it's still great. So bring back the NASCAR. What? Bring back to the NASCAR rig. I do want to go to a race. I'm going to try and go to a race and film it for you guys. God, I haven't got to go to a race forever. I go to the sprint car races, and I used to go. The problem is my daughter used to go with me, and now she has no interest in it. And it's just like, I want to go, but it's like the nostalgia of us going together, and going by myself is going to suck. So I'm going to try and get Matt and a couple guys to go with me. No. I'm not talking about during live feeds. It's not the live feeds. It's when I'm filming the actual videos. I'm sorry. I thought you were, no, it's not this. I don't actually think you get much echo with this. I don't think you really do. I'm talking about when I film the videos where I'm at the green screen and the camera is facing me and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. That echo that you get in the intro to my videos. And I think I'm going to try the towel. Well, I filmed with the towels over it today, and it seemed to be okay, but I haven't really done the edit yet. I listened to it on my phone and it didn't sound too bad. 1M for ultimate glass. I don't know what we're talking about. Really? I know a lot of the drivers around here. Because I was friends with my buddy Clint. We would go down to the pits and I made friends with a lot of the teams and stuff like that, like Brody Roa and some of those guys. Brody Roa is a really good dude. His wife is incredibly hot. I still, Hubcap Mike, there was a Matthew Clay. I've been itching to buy a new EDC. I'm willing to spend 200, 300, anything special pop out in mine. That Oaks Osprey is like 360. That's kind of outside. I don't, you know what? Nothing I could think of. The Kramers. Why is that? I know it and I can't think. Twink? Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And then there's a fuck, I can't think of their last name now. There's a family up north, up near way up north in well, not way up north, up above LA. And this family, dude, they fell in love with my daughter. Like she would have kidnapped my daughter if I can't think of the driver's name. He's number 74. My daughter has his or 54. My daughter has a hat. 400 max. Yeah, I would say try. Let me go grab it. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. It's back here behind the green screen, so I don't have it in hand. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Sharif Manganis. He was on the channel. Talked with him. Here's a good one. If you really, this is the Kaiser Grazioso. This is a really, really nice knife. I love this knife. But this one is 360. And this one I just did a video about. Hollow Ground M390. It's really, really comfortable. God, I love this knife. It's so comfortable. Action on this thing is beautiful. And I know that you lose it in the green screen. This would have been okay. So you guys know I have the Hinderer XM18 3-inch flipperless. That was my knife of 2021. That was my overall knife, the one that won, and this was my budget. This was my budget knife of 2021. So if I had gotten this before I did my knife of 2021, this would have been the best one. 2A Dave, what's up? What happened? Okay, you got to let me know what happened, Dave. Not necessarily here if you don't want to, because I'm ending in like 6 minutes. I try to leave these to 2 hours because, you know, there's other people that run their live feeds, and I may want to go over and see what Bees is doing. I think it's Jared Neves' birthday, guys. I don't know if you know this. He commented on my video. I just see it here. He was like, because you guys know at the end of my videos, I'm like, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. He was like, thanks for the birthday wishes. And I'm like, oh, is it your birthday? So I think it's Jared's birthday, if you want to know the truth, guys. So if you get a chance, go over and wish Jared a birthday gift or a happy birthday. I mean, so yeah, this thing is great. This is an incredible knife. I love this thing. It's so sleek, comfortable, cuts really well, nice hollow grind. Took a goddamn terrifying edge M390. So the XO, yeah, I mean, the XO, they have the exclusive coming out, but that's like, that wouldn't be an EDC. Most people aren't going to be able to carry that. It's illegal. I mean, to tell you the truth, most people aren't going to carry it. It's back there. You want to see it? Let's get it. Let's go get it. We got a couple minutes left. It's back here on the I've gotten so good at breaking down and putting back up this green screen. I do it every night. It used to leave it up, and then when I'd be done filming for a couple of days, I'll take this down and turn it back into the living room. It literally, I've got a system down. I know exactly where I've got to put everything. This is probably the most fun knife of 2021. I think this knife is about as much fun as any knife I've ever had. What's my favorite EDC of 2022? Well, I mean, this just came in, and this is right now my #1 knife of 2022. So, I mean, I don't know what else you want. It's literally the first month, and I haven't had a lot. I mean, I've had a bunch of really nice knives come in, but as far as all around, value, this. What kind of EDC are you looking for? You wear neckties? So 2021, before I got this, my knife of 2021, I already put out the video, was the Hinder XM18 3-inch flipperless, the thumb stud operator only. Hands down, the best knife I had come in. And when I say my best knife, I know that's not a new knife for 2021, but it's a knife that I had not got to review until 2021. And that's how I base it on. So that, no joke, if this had come in, this would have beat that Hinder. And I mean, it's just a great, great, great little knife. Paulie, you come in right at the end, bud. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, you missed fun. Okay, but I don't know. Did Dave, hopefully Dave is like trying to get that instant sent to me. Maybe he can catch me on Instagram. David, or 2A Dave, if you get a chance, just send me what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about, which is, do you guys remember a while back? I'm just going to throw it out there. This kind of was shitty. Do you guys remember Monster Racing? And he was doing this big thing where he was running a GoFundMe, and I'm not going to get into the details of it because I don't want to copyright a what do you want to call it, a privacy guideline strike. But he basically, there was a guy that came on and he was saying all this stuff. Like, he ran this GoFundMe and everybody kind of fell into it. We donated to it. I donated to it. He was going to do this big giveaway of knives at the end of it. I told him, I don't give a crap about doing a giveaway. Turns out that this guy was lying. He was doing it on multiple platforms. He was doing it on different things. He was doing it on Pew Pew sites and things like that. And people were donating to it and giving him a lot of money. And so he basically bilked us all out of thousands and thousands of dollars. That's some shitty business. So keep your eyes out for stuff like that. Just keep your eyes out. There was a guy named Tom that came in here, and he did the same thing to Polly. Polly was like, "Oh, I'll hook you up with some stuff. Like, I can give you some guidance, like stuff like this." And he went and found Polly on Instagram and was fucking harassing him, trying to get free stuff from Polly. And I'm like, what a dickbag. So if I see him come in, I'm going to block him. Just a preemptive. Sinister Duke, just hit me up on Instagram. We can talk about it. Like I said, I don't want to get a privacy guideline strike by like calling it out too hard here, but yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. never sent Tri-State EDC as giveaway for the GoFundMe. Yeah, and I didn't, like, after I started hearing about it, like, he kind of just disappeared. That's kind of what I figured. So, guys, this has been a lot of fun. We had a lot of really good conversations. No one got angry or butthurt. I didn't have to block anyone, which is what I like. I don't like having to block anyone because it's no fun. Unless I get to put Polly in timeout, because then it's fun, because then he just immediately starts texting me. And Polly has a filthy, filthy mouth. So, guys, I love y'all. Take it easy. Go check out the video I did that went up today. It's the 5 fast EDC fixed blades. So, Zach, have you been lurking in my comment section? Zach, I ought to make you a moderator, Zach. But I need to get some more of you guys as moderators. So I'm probably going to reach out to some of you on Instagram and just have you send me your YouTube handle. And then I can go in and just type it in and add you as a moderator. So, guys, that's it, man. I'm out of here. I'm going to fucking harass Polly digitally. Probably watch a couple movies. There's a video going up tomorrow. You guys are going to get some Saturday content. So don't forget to check it out. It's going to be fun. It's sharpening stuff. It's kind of knife adjacent. So I will talk to you guys all later. Have fun. This has been fun. This is one of those ones where, like, I thought it was going to go off the rails, because a lot of times those conversations have a tendency to go off the rails real quick, and it didn't. And I'm glad it didn't. So, like I said, yeah, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, guys. I don't get paid for likes. So you guys know I don't get paid for likes, get paid for views. But the likes push me up the algorithm. So I definitely appreciate them. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to end this, and I'm out.